Hi knitters, this is Mindy of MinuetKnit, and I am here to demonstrate how to weave in your ends in your garter stitch knitting. Today I'm working with Frabjous Fibers and Wonderland Yarn's beautiful Cheshire Cat fingering weight yarn. And you see I have Goat's Beard, Phantomwise, and then you kind of get a little peek of Jub-Jub bird over here, another colorway. Their yarns are fabulous, and this yarn is perfect with its stitch definition for showing you how to weave in ends. So I'm going to do something a little odd, which I would not normally do. When I weave in my ends, whenever possible, I keep color with color. So the gray would be woven into the gray and the purple into the purple. But for the sake of showing you how this technique works, I'm going to draw the gray yarn through the purple just so that you can kind of see exactly where the yarn is going and see the result of how it hides the ends. So I am going to find a garter stitch ridge. So there's one right here, right next to where my yarn is coming out of. And I am going to go from the side closest to me, out the back, then from the back through the front in the next bump. So you're going to work your way through that garter ridge in a zigzag fashion. So again, out the back, out the front, and we'll just keep going and going. See if I can get this even a little closer for you so you can really see what's happening. So I work from one bump in the garter ridge to the next. You just work back and forth. Doesn't matter how long you go, as long as you at least get, I would say, at least an inch. I find myself weaving a lot longer than that a lot of the time, just because the more you weave in an end, the harder it's going to be for it to sneak out of your work. So as I've done this, I've got my nice zigzag pattern on my darning needle here. I'm going to pull that yarn through. And I can play with the tension a little bit, adjust my fabric. But if you take a look here, it's actually very subtle. Even though I've woven the gray yarn through the purple yarn, here's my ridge from where I joined the new color on the right side. So that's a color change. We're on the wrong side of the work. But you don't see it through here. Now, the really great part about that is when we flip to the right side, you still don't see it. You can't find that gray yarn at all. The evidence is just not there, even though it was woven into the purple. So if it hides this well in the purple, it's going to hide perfectly in its own color. So the only other recommendation I have for you is, if you are as paranoid about your ends coming out as I am, I like to weave once more in the opposite direction. This just makes it that much harder for the ends to sneak back out of your work. The last thing you want is to have your shawl unraveling on you while you're trying to enjoy a nice evening. So let's just go ahead and slide this one through. Ta-da! You can snip the end, just be really careful. I like to snip close to my work, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll pull a little tighter, snip, and then adjust my tension back to hide the end. So that is how you weave in a stitch in garter stitch knitting.